Hello everybody, hey love lovers, this is Smita speaking, and I am your astrology journalist because I break the news before the news even happen. I do use astrology to make predictions, but today I want to talk about the role of Lilith, and most of the time, because we talk about relationships, we do know that when it comes to relationships, Lilith may influence your relationship to have a cheating ingredient or to have a cheating flavor, a third party, right? But not all the time. Yes, most times, but not all the time. It depends, as I always say, on your ascendant, on your degrees, on your other aspects. Everything is according to your chart and individually read according to your chart. But on a global on a global level, we do know something will happen definitely. Now, looking at this chart, this is the chart of Dr. Nandipha Magudumana. She is a South African doctor, a celebrity doctor that was arrested in 2023 because she had been found to have murdered some people for her boyfriend, who was incarcerated at the time, Thabo Bester, and he escaped. He had been in prison for violating women, and not only violating the woman, but also murdering her. And then he had been in prison for life, and Dr. Nandipha helped him escape out of prison and did a whole lot of unspeakable things. She stole dead bodies for him to arrange or to fake his death in prison and help him escape. So this has been a huge story that has been rocking the walls in South Africa, because she was a known doctor, and I do know her personally. Because we went to the same university together, and she used to come to our residence for many times because she had friends who stayed in my residence. So I know her. She was very lovely, very bubbly, and she had access to everything. Really, she had a good personality. She was very like the life of the party. She was very popular and nice and bubbly and just having a good life. Now, because she did all of that, she's currently in prison, in jail, because she's still waiting for her trial, which has been postponed since 2023. But what I do want us to do is to look at her Venus. Her Venus here is at 9 degrees. It is conjunct with Pluto, first of all, and it is conjunct with Lilith. Now, both Pluto and Lilith will bring hardships to your love, because Pluto is the transformative agent that will force you to face changes in your relationship, and these changes are not at all nice. They are not soft. They are always wanting you to learn the hard way. It's giving tough love. It's giving a refinement of who you are through love. But now with Lilith, it just makes the whole experience tainted. And for her love partner has sent her straight to prison. and she's done many things, scary things that are, making her love experience be really exceptional, and not in a good way, but in a scary way, right? But what's mostly important is that at the time of her arrest, she was also having the transiting Lilith conjunct in this Libra sign with her with her Venus, her own natal Lilith, and Pluto. So double the agent of Lilith. But at the same time, there was Ketu. There was Ketu here, not only separating her from the boyfriend, because they got arrested together, right? So obviously they got separated. He went back to his prison, and she went to another prison, and of course, obviously opposite to Rahu, because wherever Ketu is, then opposite is going to be Rahu, and that was also Mercury as well transiting here. At the same time, there was Uranus. Sudden things, sudden changes, because they were shopping, and then somebody at the store saw them and took a picture of Thabo Bester, because he had been an escapee from prison. He was not supposed to be out of prison. He was supposed to be in jail for a year, his whole life, but he was roaming around as a free man, because he was helped by Dr. Nandipha Sekeleni at the time. She had been married before, and she had 2 kids from her previous husband, and at the same time, she also, or her family, accepted the proposal of Thabo Bester. So she basically had allegedly 2 husbands, like one being legal husband and the other one being, this Thabo Bester, paying for ilobola. Ilobola is the dowry where a family pays money for the bride. So that, like, her love life is tainted, basically, thanks to Lilith, because, as I always say, Lilith is a tainting agent. Now let's go deeper again, because this Venus conjunct Lilith here is very deep. Why? Because number one, you'd assume that Venus in Libra would be doing well, will be doing fine. She wants to be fair. She wants to have good relationships. It's going to give her stable relationships. But she didn't have stable relationships. It's in Libra. That's another factor that somebody in the comment section challenged me about. She said, or he said, I don't know if he was a man or female. The person said, why are you saying that Libra is not balanced? Or you don't know astrology. Okay, if Libra is balanced, why do you need a scale? Why do you need a scale if it's balanced? It means that it is not balanced. You need a scale so that you can keep balancing the factors. This is the whole idea of Libra. It is an ongoing struggle, or an ongoing purpose of life, to keep balancing life. You're coming into Libra and things are not balanced, and your role with Libra, wherever your Libra is to keep being fair, looking at the scale. Is this okay? Is this not okay? Is this okay? This is an ongoing purpose of life. Wherever your Libra is, it means that part of life in your chart is not balanced, and you are called to continuously examine your life there and bring balance to it. If it's a 4th house, there will be instability at home, relating to home, which you are called to always try to balance, always try to find fair measures, always try to find what you can do to equal the scale. That is the role of Libra. So, because we must also remember, Saturn gets exalted in Libra. Why? Because Saturn gets to balance the scale. He gets to weigh our karmas. He gets to say, oh, you did bad things to this person and this person. Now you deserve this. Oh, you did good things to this person and this person. Now you deserve this. He's judging. He's balancing the scale. He doesn't come there and be like, oh, I have no job to do. Everything is balanced. Everyone has already gotten their karma. Wow. No, he comes here and says, now I get to work. I get to see what you've done so that I can reward you. According to that, balance the scale, right? Now, looking at this combination of 3 planets in Libra, it does bring a difference. If there were just Venus, if there was just Venus here, we would be having different results. But because there's Lilith and Pluto, the definition changes and the expectations change. It is the same in every house. Wherever your planets are, and if they are being impacted by another planet, we are going to have a different definition of what is happening. For an example here, this is how I would describe her and her love ways or her relationships and how he loves also, but with partners as well, because Venus, as we know, it's not only the relationship, but it also represents partners regardless of their gender. Venus is your partner, Venus is your spouse, regardless of male and female. Yes, Venus is also women in general, but it doesn't take away the fact that it also represents all spouses. Now, looking at the positive things from this conjunction, right, we can tell that she is a leader, and because she did have her own business, she was a leader in her community, a doctor who was helping people, and a doctor who was a motivational speaker. She was invited in different platforms, public platforms. There were a lot of people looking up to her, right? And she was also a change agent, a visionary leader, because even in her practice, she was focusing on beauty. She was a doctor who was focusing on beauty and all of these things, right? So not a lot of doctors go to that side. She was progressive thinker, service orientated, of course, because particularly with Venus at 9 degrees and with that Lilith at 0 degrees, is going to make you to be service orientated, and naturally doctors should be like that, and she was indeed service orientated. It also makes a person to be very calm, because remember, when you are getting into Libra, in order for you to be able to balance life, you need to be calm. You can't be stressed. You can't be like you in Virgo. You have to be calm so that you can calculate properly that this side needs 20% in order for my scale to be at 100%. You need to become. So she was calm, very practical, and at the same time very protective of her lovers. But remember, whatever I'm saying here, it's also referring to their spouse. Supportive, adaptable, teachable, very teachable, okay? Somebody who's able to absorb knowledge or absorb whatever skill they're being taught in order to adapt. Because in Libra, you must be adaptable. This is required. It's an air sign, and at the same time it's a sign of intelligence that needs you to be level-headed and to be able to adapt so that you can balance life out. you know, and she was very loyal, obviously. I mean, up to the point of her demise, you know, going to prison for somebody that she loved. You know, that's how loyal she was. You know, obviously seen as reliable to those who love her, like in terms of partners, right, and not obviously to the victims that who involved her, and to the gentleman that lost his life, that was after.
I first currently do not have any title document in my possession.
As obviously beautiful as well. It does bring beauty to both to you and the partner. In, you know, if this is your Venus with this conjunction, really with this conjunction, there's an elite authority here. So it's not like you're just going to be a normal leader. No, with this conjunction, you're going to be an elite. Like people will know about you. There will be something special about you. You're not going to be like normal people, right? And wise, you know, obviously too wise, right, to the point of prison. Now, it does have some negative connotations as well, because it makes the person lose boundaries. Like they can't be assertive. Like they don't have boundaries. Like Libras, they struggle with boundaries. Like in a Libra sign, there's a lot of boundaryless, because why? You want to serve everyone. You want everyone to be happy. You want everyone to have an equal opportunity, equal chance to feel valued. So she struggled with boundaries here. She struggled with self-assertion, and most of the time it does bring resentment, even if it's difficult to say it out loud. But it does bring that heaviness of being resentful, like, you know, I'm doing so much, I'm taking so much burdens of other people, of myself, of everything, you know. And as a result, it makes the person to be cold, emotionally detached. So this is why a lot of air signs, they are not emotionally detached. I mean, they are not emotionally invested. They are detached, because for them, emotions then are not needed, where you have to think all the time to balance equation. You have to be logical. So, you know, so she suffered from that angle of not necessarily feeling the emotions of love, but, you know, everything is logic, mental, right? And this conjunction does make somebody lose themselves. So here we can see she struggled with identity loss, meaning that in her relationships she would end up losing herself again and again and again. And but then it does also, because of that Lilith here, there's a lot of enabling tendencies, whereby the enabling behavior is towards the negative. Lots and lots of that. We can see it here, and of course in her case it really showed, right? And with Pluto here, the Pluto and the Lilith conjunct together, hemming that Venus in between, it makes the person feel above average. Like it makes the person see themselves as in above you, above the normal person. It gives them the elite feeling, the elite status, and making a person be very overbearing, right? But at the same time, somebody who is lacking self-esteem. So that's it in a nutshell. I'll chat to you soon. For now, I'm going to say Abintu and ciao.